I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Well, finally, we're in it. This is the 2006 Acura Rsx Type S. Now, to many of you, this just looks like an ordinary Type S. That's fine, as it does, and as it is. But to some of you OGs, and some of you people that actually know me personally, you'll know that this car is kind of more than just an RSX in a sort of I don't know, sentimental way. This car has been around this channel for a little over a year and a half. I think almost 2 years now, but not as my car. A lot of you people that have been watching the channel for like a while now, you'll notice that you've seen this car before, and let me explain. So if you're new, be sure to subscribe and sit back and listen to this story. We'll get to all the driving and all the review stuff later, but for now, here's the story. So this car actually was bought early 2019 by a friend, Nick. Now Nick has the Camaro, and he's been in videos, background videos, a couple videos, I mean here and there on the channel over the years, including but not limited to that time where we took an angle grinder to Tyler's exhaust at the middle of the night. If you haven't seen that, be sure to click up above, because yeah, that was a fun video. Don't want to miss that one. Pretty fun. But anyways, he bought this car, and at the time of him buying this car, me personally, I had no idea what this car was. Now, me coming from Mustangs and stuff like that, hence the name of the channel, I had no idea. I thought Hondas were just Hondas, Acuras were Hondas, and I was like, cool, I guess. Well, I got to ride in the car, and you know, it wasn't like fast or anything, and don't get me wrong, this car is not fast, but it was kind of weird how it didn't have to be fast for me to like it. And I kind of learned that over the years, obviously because of what I have now. But I don't know, there was just something about it that I liked. It looked really good, which I liked the color of it, that pearl white, which was really good. And it kind of started to grow on me that I kind of liked it. So I mean, time went on, I got to ride in it here and there, I got to see it, and I really didn't think much of it because it was just, you know, his car. Well, fast forward a little bit into mid, kind of early, late 2019, when I had bought the Focus, and everyone remembers the Focus, right? Well, around that same time, Nick had actually sold this car to Garrett. Now everybody knows Garrett. Garrett has been on the channel like since day one. He has the Integra, that silver one. He has the WRX we did a video on. He's been in pretty much almost every video that we have with more than one people. He's always there. He's always in the video. Well, he bought the car from Nick late 2019, around the same time when I bought the Focus. So that is why whenever you watch the videos of the Focus, you can see Garrett driving the RSX, and it's actually kind of cool because we actually jump start the Focus with the RSX. And it's cool now because all that stuff kind of leads up to this, to me actually owning this car. And it's kind of ironic to think about that. You know, at the time, I didn't know. No one knew. But, yeah. So, now, Garrett has the car. I have the Focus. And now, me being a closer friend to Garrett than Nick, just me hanging out with him more, I got to see the car a lot more. And with me being able to see the car a lot more, I got attached to this car. When Nick sold Garrett the RSX, they had a deal. If Garrett were to ever sell the RSX again, Nick would have first dibs and he would get it. So fast forward to around Christmas, Thanksgiving of 2019, I actually wrecked the Focus and had to sell it, and that's when I took my break on YouTube. That's when I took that long break, because I just had nothing to do. I had nothing to film, no money, and I got a pretty decent job, and I just kind of stayed quiet, kind of saved up, and that would lead into me buying the TSX a little time later. But a little bit before then, when COVID first happened, so Garrett has the RSX, COVID happens, which means Garrett has to park the RSX for a long time. So Garrett parks it. I'm still working. Fast forward to May 2020. I buy the TSX. I make a video back on YouTube, and I have the TSX. Now at this time, the RSX is still sitting. That's just how it is. It's still sitting. So I have the TSX now. I have no want for the RSX, even though it'd still be cool to have it. But I didn't care because I had the TSX. Fast forward, the RSX has been sitting for months now. It's summer 2020. RSX has been sitting for like 4 or 5 months now. And Garrett buys the WRX, which you've seen. So now the RSX is going to sit indefinitely until Nick decides to pick it up. Well, Garrett has the WRX and he offers me to buy the RSX. Says there's no need for it. If I'm interested, he'll sell it to me. I was like, alright. But he's like, well, Nick's still interested. So until Nick makes up his mind, I can't do anything. I can't sell it to you. So now Nick, I'm just waiting on Nick to say yes or no. And Nick says yes, he still wants it. So then I'm out of the question. So kind of sucked, but just had to wait and wait and wait. And it was a good thing that I waited that long, but also a bad thing because every month that the car sat, it just got worse. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So, fast forward now to like October, okay? Still going strong with the TSX, and Nick actually is thinking about buying this Camaro, which, spoiler alert, he did. But relevant to the story, he told Garrett that he was going to buy this Camaro. So then Garrett told me, if Nick does buy this Camaro, you will be next in line to buy the RSX. So Nick ends up buying the Camaro, and Garrett says, hey, you still interested? I said, yep. So I bought the RSX, and that's how that went. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as you might think, because this car sat for like 8 months. And with that, had a lot of problems come up. Knock sensor tires, throttle body sensors, oil, coolant, dirtiness, you name it, it was wrong. So, I actually picked up this car right at the beginning of November. So I've spent the last like 20 days getting this thing all fixed and cleaned and stuff. And no lights on the dash. It drives good. now we can actually get into the car. So this is the 2006 Acura Rsx Type S. This car is pretty rare, honestly. It's not the rarest thing, but it is kind of rare. And here's why. 05 to 06 RSX, rare. Okay, kind of rare, right? You don't see them. Type S, yeah, pretty rare. Type S in this white, actually pretty rare. I've never seen an 05, 06 Type S in this white ever around here, ever. This is the only one. And some mods to this car include short ram intake, bore the cat back. It's lowered on BC racing coils, which makes it super stiff, but it handles like a dream. It's got all aftermarket suspension from control arms. It feels great. It's stiff, but it's a driver's car, and that's how it's meant to be. So, other than that, it's pretty much stock. Has a bunch of miles on it, but we make it work. It's a daily driver. So, with all these mods and stuff, it still feels like a good car. Now, it is really, really stiff, although the coils are fully adjustable, so they can be adjusted to be softened, raised, however you want it. It's just how it is now. It's super, super, like, stiff and tight, which is alright if you want to, you know, actually drive. So, now, brings me into the favorite part of the car, the Vtec. I know, that's such a Honda thing to say, but these K20s have the loudest Vtec crack, I think, with the short ram paired up to it. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to show you how ridiculous it is. Hopefully you guys can hear this pretty well. That is pretty nuts. I mean, camera does not do it justice. It's actually loud. And it's all up here. It's all intake. It's ridiculous. It's all intake. The car's not that loud. The exhaust is not loud at all. It's just the intake makes it bonkers loud once you hit Vtec. And to me, that's a selling point to this car, honestly. Is the K20, the high revs, the Vtec, just the sound, the raw sound, the growl of the K series. I love it. I love the K series. Hence why I have the TSX. And by the way, I still have it. So we're going to be doing stuff with that soon. Don't worry. But this was just such a selling point to this car. And not just that, but the sentimental value to this car. And what this car actually meant to me was why I picked it up. I had to have it. Why not? I love this car. Ever since I got introduced to it, if it wasn't for this car right here, this particular car, I would still be buying Mustangs and braking. This car, and this car only, made me realize that Hondas weren't about going fast. Hondas weren't about breaking records. Hondas are about the prestigious. They're prestige built. They've got a charm to them. And I've learned that through this car and the TSX. That nobody bought these cars to be fast. People bought these cars because of how prestigious the motors are, how the body, how rare some of the models are. How much of a driver's car these things are. And it's crazy to think that it was all this car. For me personally, at least, this car started it. And it's crazy. Now, I have this car. You know, like 2 years ago when I first seen this car, I never would have thought that I would have this. Ever. I mean, hard work pays off for sure. I mean, I'm actually on my way to work now. It's crazy to have two cars now. To have a supercharged TSX and have a Rsx Type S. Both cars rare. It's crazy. I hope you guys will stick around to watch me build this thing. I mean, build's kind of a strong word. I'm not going to build it, but I should say my journey with this thing. TSX is still around. We're going to be doing videos with that. So I thank each and every one of you for watching. We're now up to 150 subscribers, which I know is not a lot, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm thankful for each and every one. When I hit 100, it felt like a million to me. Now 150 in just a couple more months. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Subscribe if you're going to stick along with me.